it's not a marketing issue. It could be a sales, like you guys really like ask yourself, oh, wait, am I experiencing a marketing issue or a sales issue? Whether it's
Hmm.
through the email that you send back initially to initial inquiry, whether it's if you do clarity calls or sales calls, whatever you want to call them, that is something so key to note because if you really think about it, how many bookings do you actually need? If you get better at closing the inquiries you get, you actually don't need to even stress about marketing even more and more and more. You don't need even more leads. Just
Hmm.
improve the way that you express the value that you bring. Hey, Alora, welcome back to the Shine and Thrive Photography Podcast. I think this is your third time. Wagwan. Third time here.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
literally
it's
don't
been
even know how many times.
I know. And you always bring so much value, and I always get so much amazing feedback from listeners, and even all those stats that we look at on our little podcast,
Hmm.
what's it called software of, hey, how many people are tuning in? Your episodes always get so much traction, so much interest. So I'm so excited to have you back because you are a well of knowledge, and I know I'm going to learn some things from you today too. And okay, so today, you guys, we're going to be talking about working less and making more. And you guys are used to me talking about this from the outsourcing perspective, right? But Alora brings another important knowledge base all about how you can actually raise your prices more effectively and actually book higher ticket, weddings, higher ticket clients that are really interested in paying a larger price tag based on what they value and based on how you explain the value that you provide. So we're going to dive into that. And I love how, Alora, you're just like, it's so simple. It's so simple, so clear. And that's why you're so effective at how you help photographers. You're like, I help photographers make 100K with under 20 weddings a year. So simple. And
Yeah.
something that I love so much about be running a photography business for 13 years, I've always noticed every time my business was hitting that like super successful point was when I kept things simple and focused. And it's so possible to have a successful business while keeping things that simple and effective.
Hmm.
So I would love to know firstly, what inspired you to help photographers in this specific way?
Oh, that's such a good question. Okay, Sarah didn't give me these ahead of time. We just
No,
like
we're just
we go over
talking.
bullet points and then we just press record.
Yeah.
That's such a good question, really, because I honestly, it was my story. I think my story has paved the way for everything that I teach. I feel like you can't really teach what you don't know, which is why they tell writers never to like write a story that they didn't live. You know what I mean? So for me, my business took off. If you guys heard previous episodes where I guested, when I had my daughter, she was a newborn, like 3 days old, and I booked 17 weddings that month. I made six figures that year, and I was already like past 30 when you're second shooting for friends and doing all the other great stuff. So I've already done it before, but it was not sustainable. And while on the outside and on social media, everybody's like, wow, she's got her dream life. She's getting like discovered in stores and she's in these magazines. And while that was great, I was behind closed doors crying on the daily. On the daily. I would literally
Mhm.
be searching for therapists that are readily available and be like, can we book a call? Because I'm having an anxiety attack and I don't know why. And it was because it's not sustainable. It's really not sustainable as a mother. And you have, your son and I have two kids now and running a business. And I knew that I wanted to like have another one. I was like, I can't do this again the way that I did it before. And so what was the secret? Raising my prices. Like,
Yeah.
now, personally, I am the kind of person who, I don't know, I stayed at the same prices for like at least, I think it was like almost 3 years before the pandemic came and shut down all of our businesses. It was a crazy time to be alive, personally. But in that time, I haven't really elevated anything except for my education. I maybe bought a couple lenses, some OCF, but I was so scared to raise my prices more than 200 bucks at a time that it was finally time. Like my friends were calling me, they were already booking five-figure weddings. They're like, "Alora, come join us." And I'm like, "I can't." And like it's like, "Come join us, Alora." And I was like, "I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't even raise my prices to 5K." They're like, "Alora, 5K is not luxury." I'm like, "Yes, it is." And so mindset. And I am gonna, if I'm gonna panic, like I'm gonna panic all the way. So I'm like DMing everybody, like, what do you charge? Oh, how do you do it? I just don't know how I'm gonna do it. So finally, I got a grip. You got to get a grip and you got to do the numbers. And I said to myself, okay, I got to make a plan. Like, I am currently pregnant with my second, and I am not gonna be at this rate of shooting 25, 30, 35, sometimes 40 weddings a year to
Yeah.
make six figures. And you're not even taking it all. Like,
Yeah.
let's be so for real.
Yeah.
That money's going to
That's
everybody.
just revenue. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So that's
wait,
not even,
how much were you charging on making on average per wedding at that time ish?
oh no. I don't know. I don't have that data. Thank God.
Oh no, but you would know. But like it's like I think for me, I think I found myself at the 35 to like $3,800 was when I was shooting like 37 weddings a year.
Mm,
At 3,800, that made me, yeah, over 100K and all of that.
yeah.
So that's where I was at. So for those of you that are like at that price point, just know like first off, like congratulations because you have gotten to this point. You have up leveled from a previous point where you were like, how can I even charge 3,800 or 3,500,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
congratulations, you have up leveled, you have graduated. But if you are feeling all those feelings like Alora was talking about of like the this is not sustainable and like now I'm overbooked and how can I even handle it? Like then yeah, that's another up level moment for you. So yeah, keep going with your story. Keep going.
Yeah. I mean, if I can go back in time to see how much I profited, it wasn't really much because I was charging 3,500 for 8 hours, second shooter, engagement session.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was also outsourcing because I was
Mm,
working with an editor because my daughter was two and she was very busy. And so I'm like, I cannot like be on the computer all day. She's probably gonna break something in my house.
yeah.
Motherhood stories. DM me. I
Yeah.
have so many. But it was just a crazy time. And so yeah, I don't think I would say like 2K, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just nothing. So I literally be at the end of the year and I'm like, oh my gosh, my business made like 100K, 120. And then I'm like, but why do I feel so poor? Like, where's the
Right.
money going? Um, so finally I was like, enough is enough, right? I did a 2 hours, 2 years of this. And right before the pandemic, it was 2019, I was like, I think I'm gonna quit. I think I'm gonna burn this to the ground. If this is what
Hmm.
six figures looks like, they lied to me, one. And number two, I don't want it. Like, I hate it. This is horrible. I just want to be a stay at home. Like, this is for the birds. I could never do that, to be honest. I'll for both Enneagram threes. There's no way. No way we could not do something.
Wait,
But
hold on,
at the
Alora.
time, that's
Sorry.
what I wanted to do.
Alora,
Yeah.
sorry, it cut out just because of the internet connection. Just go
Oh,
back to saying I could not do that, to be honest, and just keep going.
oh yeah. I'm just kidding. I could not do that, to be honest. And me and Sarah are both Enneagram threes. It's impossible. We will
Yeah.
always manage something with children. Like, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. But at the time, you get so dramatic, and that's why I teach on mindset. Now that I realize, I'm like, I was such a mess for so long. And I had to be my own cheerleader, my own hype woman, my own coach, and be like, you got to change something. Like,
Mm,
if nothing changes, nothing changes, right? If you
yeah.
don't like what's happening, move. You're not a tree. And you sometimes will plant yourself in a spot and then wonder why you're insane. And so I have to like zoom out, for me, like if, we're photographers, zoom out, shoot with a 28 millimeter and be like, okay, at this pace,
Yeah.
my life is going to crash and burn. So I made a plan. I was like, to be able to shoot the amount of weddings that I want to. And at the time, my friend was telling me like 10 to 12 to 15 was the sweet spot for moms, while you can still be gone like once or twice a month and then still feel like you're a good mom, you have a handle on things and
Mm-hmm.
making really good money. She was charging minimum like 7, 8K. And I was like, okay, well, let me just charge 7K. Like, I can do that. And then I make this plan. This plan's beautiful, but I was like, I can't do it. Like, this is not, I'm just gonna hang it on the wall and just like stare at it as my future life. But yeah, I did something really crazy and I tripled my prices in 1 year over time. But that's a whole nother conversation. So yeah, that was how I did it. And my business changed for the better. I built an associate team to kind of take my old pricing and then I raised my prices continuously. They were booking weddings on the back end before they were announced. My son was like 3 months old when I launched my rebrand. Why was I taking photos 3 months postpartum? I don't know. I'm a mess.
No, I love it. You didn't overthink it and you were just like, this is the next step and I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna let
Literally.
bullshit stop me. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
am definitely the person who believes in doing it messy and then cleaning it up
Hmm.
afterwards because if it is perfect, it will never, you'll never do it. Like
Yeah.
perfection will keep us from doing so many things.
Yeah.
Um, and even if like, I don't know, visually, I was just like, how do I do this? How can I get there? What are all the different ways that I can make this happen? And then just pick one, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
Um, yeah, so that's my story.
So, okay. So that's, yeah, I love how like you expressed exactly how you're actually feeling because it will just
Yeah.
give others so much hope and not feel so alone or like there's something wrong with them. I know there's so many times where I'm going through like business moments, growth moments where something feels clunky or like I don't have it
Hmm.
figured out and I just feel like something's wrong with me. And it's just you
Mm.
guys, it's not true. It's just a part of
Hmm.
like the next growth stage. So I love that you candidly like expressed that and shared it and that you were okay. So actually take me back to how you're like so I had this plan and it was beautiful and I was going to start charging 7K, but then I couldn't fucking do it and I just put it up on the wall to stare at it and hopefully I'll do it tomorrow and hopefully I'll do it tomorrow, right?
Literally.
So what
Yeah.
was that resistance? What was that like feeling of resistance to moving forward with that at that time?
That's so good. Imposter syndrome every time, every
Hmm.
single time. It's always imposter syndrome. And I don't know why, because at that point I had already shot over 100 weddings. I knew what to do. It was complete rinse and repeat. I had 90, like 5-star reviews, but for some reason, there was just like this thought that came up time and time again, like, if people are ghosting you at your highest package, how could you charge more than that? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And and then it could be a couple of things, a myriad of things. It could be confidence, it could be, self-worth, like mindset. Mindset is the hardest, best work you'll ever do because you're actually trying to fix yourself, whether it's from childhood, whether it's something you needed that you didn't have, and you will face that in entrepreneurship, whether
Hmm.
you like it or not. You have no choice but to get better.
Yeah, I love
Welcome.
it.
We're all crazy here. But as you push through and as you just take those small steps or just figure out how to reframe those negative stories into positive stories, just one little thing at a time. And I am a journaling girly. Like I took this as a hobby and I bought a whole desk and hundreds of stickers just to support this. It's toxic, toxically good for me, but artist way.
Yeah.
Like I can't go back. I can't go back. So going through creative slumps and going through moments where you feel detached from yourself, it's just a sign that maybe it's time to rest. Maybe it's time to say nice things to yourself. I feel like half the time we would never say the things that we say to ourselves to even our worst enemies, to
Hmm.
anyone, right? Not
Yep.
even your dog. And so if you feel like you're constantly in this loop of negativity, whether you need to hire a therapist and talk it out or buy a journal and write it out, and then you can't be judged for it.
Yeah.
But either way, it's got to come out because if it stays in your head, subconsciously it's on repeat in the background. Okay.
Yeah.
Like just a couple of days ago, I was writing some stuff out and I was like, I wasn't even thinking that. Like, where was that? And I was like, was that in my subconscious? I was like, no, I got to go for a walk. I got to drink some water. But that's
Yeah.
a part of self-care. And if you don't take care of yourself as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, the whole thing falls apart. Hence me wanting to burn this business to the ground that I built up that looked so good, that felt so good to everyone else, but me. But
Yeah.
you have to take care of yourself. And especially if you are a mother, especially if you want to plan a family. A lot of my students are either mothers or wanting to become mothers or grow their family in some shape or form. And they're like, the way that I'm going, I can't keep going. And
Yeah.
that's usually like they resonate with my story, but you
Yeah.
can do it. There's a lot of women that are breadwinners in their home and they're still doing it with children. It's very, very possible.
But
But
yeah, but for how long and
mhm.
only if you have certain like tools and workflows in place or pricing in place to support that, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. And by the way, you guys listen, check out the Artist's Way book, audiobook or book, because Alora has been like on that kick, and I also have listened to I think like maybe half the book, and it has been the handful of times, I would probably say maybe 20 times in the past like maybe 3, 4 months, I have like just journaled out like literally stream of consciousness, just like writing it out, like literally whatever you're saying. If you're like, so I'm sitting here and trying to journal, but I don't want to. Why
Hmm.
do I fucking hate this so much? Oh, okay. Maybe I'm being impatient. Oh, but why am I judging myself? Why can't I just
Hmm.
accept myself for being impatient? You're just like literally stream of
Hmm.
consciousness. And then the coolest shit happens. You start to notice how like much thoughts can get in your way. And then you also, I've had so many moments where I've problem solved something on the page.
Hmm.
I'm like, what? I made these connections. Oh, okay, that's problem solved. It's so fun. Sometimes you get nothing out of it, but just like a nice like release. Okay, all that stuff is now on the paper. I don't have to keep it in my head. Like it's amazing. So just sidebar, you guys check it out, The Artist's Way.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But Laura, I wanted to ask you, so from that moment, right, when you had that like resistance of like imposter syndrome and like I wanted to start charging 7K, but imposter syndrome, how
Sure.
long from that moment did it take you to actually start to get to that point? Like, and we'll talk about the how and stuff, but like how long in your journey did it take from I want to and I have it up on the wall to actually it
Hmm.
starting to happen, even if it was just the first booking where you booked 7K? Might be a tricky
Bless.
question because it's a
Well,
lot of memory there.
yeah, I was like, going down the road
Yeah, yeah,
backwards in
yeah.
reverse. Well, so I was charging what, 3,500 for I think two or 3 years. And then when I made the decision, I think 6 months later. Yeah. But
Okay.
I did a
Okay.
lot of work. I don't
Yeah,
want to tell anybody it's
exactly.
easy.
No, no, no. We will get to that. But hey,
Yeah.
6 months later, like from objectively, like that is a short amount of time. Like
Hmm.
if we're in our own business every day and we think, oh my gosh, it's gonna take me 6 months to get there, it feels like such a long time because we're not there yet. But
Mm,
objectively now looking back, are you like, you know what, 6 months to wait for that? Like that's amazing to like, so you guys
yeah.
just know it could be just around the corner for you with the right steps, right? So let's get into that. So actually, first thing before like going a little bit more into like, like the how and some of the things that really help photographers get there, let's talk about what we've been like experiencing and hearing and our students experiencing, which is like inquiries kind of being lower and drying up currently. We're recording this, it's June 2025.
Hmm.
So what are you kind of like seeing, hearing from other photographers? And then those that are experiencing a down in inquiries, what do you say to keep them motivated to like not quit, to not get into lack mindset or complaining mindset? What do you tell them to just continue on and what aligned actions should they be taking?
Yeah. I feel like when you get caught up in the news and caught up in everything that's going on in the industry, the buzz, the social media, all the things, I feel like when you're already in a different mindset of like, oh, let me see how this can go, let me work on my business, and then all of a sudden you hear all these negative things, I feel like you get roped up in it and then you kind of hyper fixate on that. And then that'll be what you blame every inquiry that goes or every inquiry that doesn't work. Oh, it's because of the economy, this, that, and the other. Personally, I have a little bit of a hot take on this and I might get some hate for it. Don't find me in my DMs about this. But personally, I think the high end market is not affected at all by the inquiries being down. Like, not at all. Like, my students who are charging 6K and above are still getting inquiries, still booking constantly. It's below that number where the average market kind of is where they're kind of like, oh, I don't know, this is something we value. I don't know, this is something we can afford at this time. And
Mhm.
so I do think that in like every different price range, there is kind of a different sort of couple you're going to be dealing with. And so I don't think that's going to be a problem once you do raise your prices. But if inquiries are down and you're dealing with ghosting, you're dealing with people price shopping you because maybe you're similarly like whoever else in your industry, locally, whatever it is that comes up in your mind, it's maybe it's time to start something new. Like in terms of marketing, if and figuring out your data, like where are your inquiries actually coming from? Are you putting your efforts there, or is it just like on autopilot for you? I had just got off an intensive today with a student who's like, yeah, I do so good with my marketing, but my sales is absolutely horrible. But me being like, oh, okay, this isn't a marketing issue. Because people say, oh, it's just a
Mm.
marketing issue. I just need to market more. I was like, no, no,
Mm.
no, no. Like now that you have inquiries, you get them constantly. They're just not
Yeah.
booking,
Yeah.
And we got to the root of the problem in about a half an hour of just cycling and cycling. She's like, oh, my mindset. I'm not confident. I think I actually sold them out of working with me. And I was like, hmm.
Yeah.
hmm. And so I said, okay, great. Let's write down all of your expertise that you can kind of say on the next call. And I was like, how long have you been doing this? What experience do you have with this? And so we were writing all those things down. And I was like, do you feel a little more confident? And she's like, yeah, I have done things. I'm like, you have,
I have
you
done
have done
things.
things. But like, when you're on your like when you're on your own, when you're by yourself, and we're solopreneurs for the most part, unless you have built a team, we're just dealing with ourselves all day.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to differentiate. And I call this the artist versus the CEO, because as an artist, we feel so like connected to our work. And if they don't book me, they hate my pictures, they
Yeah.
hate me, they hate my personality. But like the CEO would be like, it's just not a good fit. Let her
Yeah.
go. Let her
Yeah.
cook.
It's just data. What can I learn from this to like
I
make
know.
the next one more effective? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard, but it's possible.
And I love how you talked about differentiating. It's not a marketing issue. It could be a sales, like you guys really like ask yourself, oh, wait, am I experiencing a marketing issue or a sales issue? Whether it's
Hmm.
through the email that you send back initially to initial inquiry, whether it's if you do clarity calls or sales calls, whatever you want to call them, right? That is something so key to note because if you really think about it, how many bookings do you actually need, right? Like if you get better at closing the inquiries you get, you actually don't need to even stress about marketing even more and more and more. You don't need even more and more and more leads. Just like
Hmm.
improve the way that you express the value that you bring and improve, yeah, and obviously easier said than done. There's so many steps and takes time to get there, but be
Yeah.
patient with the process. Like I'm re-listening to Atomic Habits right now because it's just I need the reminder to know that 1% better a day is already so much because in a year you're 365 times better than you were.
Ooh, I like that.
You know? It's
Yeah.
just literally that 1%. Like, so for example, even if with food, for example, if someone tends to over snack at night and your stomach hurts after, it's like, okay, maybe the 1% will be to fill up my plate like one third less next time. I could still have those snacks, but like one
Hmm.
third percent less, and then I'll feel better, right? Or
Hmm.
on your next sales call, really like focus on your posture, and maybe if your posture is straight and like neutral, maybe you'll actually feel more confident when you're speaking. Maybe try that 1%, right? So, yeah. So I love that you brought that up. Is it a marketing issue or a sales issue? And so
Hmm.
another thing I know that you have a lot of questions about is like people saying, okay, I get inquiries, but I'm terrified to sell. And
Hmm.
so what are some like mindset things that you could share around that to help people not feel so like up in their heads about it. Like selling
Hmm.
is a service. Like I don't know
Yeah.
about you guys, but if I'm gonna go buy a new car and I'm like I'm there and I'm gonna buy a new car, I'm fucking excited about it and I want it to be an
Hmm.
experience and I want to buy the car. It's not that I'm going up to the car salesperson and being like, "Ew, why are you trying to sell me a
Hmm.
car?" It's like, "Tell me everything. I need to know everything so I can make my best decision," right? So what do you
Hmm.
say to that, Alora?
Yeah. Well, I say that the wedding industry is probably one of the best industries to be in because one, it's like, is it like $1 billion or billions of dollar
No
business?
idea.
It's
I'm
so
like the worst
much.
with following that stuff.
You're like, statistic? What
Yeah,
is that?
yeah.
It is a huge, huge budget business, and people are constantly getting married. They're
Mhm.
not looking up do I need a wedding photographer? They're looking up what wedding photographer do I need? So they're already in this position where they're looking for the best fit for them. And all you have to do is provide that service to them.
Mhm.
So instead of thinking with sales that you have to be like a car salesman where you're just like, oh, get this green car. It's everything you want, everything you need. It's like nothing I wanted. Nothing. I said brown. Like, and
Yeah.
I said a sedan, you know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you give them every you give them everything they want and nothing they don't. And I think that's like one of the biggest things when it comes to sales is that photographers feel like they probably want, couples to book their highest package. And who doesn't? That's good money. But at the end of the day, is that the best fit for them? And couples will know if you're being salesy, and
Yeah.
couples will know if you're not confident on the call. I say we all can smell the lack of confidence a mile away. Humans
Yeah.
know humans, right?
Yeah.
Even dogs, they can smell fear. Like
And it's
humans can
just
smell.
energy. It's just energy too.
Oh
It
yeah.
just transfers. You know, when people are like, you're walking somewhere, you're like, oh, I just feel off about that person. It just you feel it. Or
Yeah.
the most awkward, I hate it when this happens when I'm out in public and I just randomly look at a person and then out of nowhere their eyes dart directly at me. I'm like, what the fuck? How did they know? I was just looking for a second. I just looked at the person. Why? Now they're gonna think I was staring. Like, whoa, that's some crazy energetic shit that
Sarah,
happens.
oh my God. When people give you full eye contact, it's crazy.
No, like when that happens, it's like from
Yeah. Oh,
far
totally.
away, and then it's like you look at them, and they're just like really far away from you, and then they just look at you, and it's directly in the eyes right away. I'm like, whoa, that's like
That's why I wear sunglasses. I'm like, you don't know what I'm looking at. Bye.
that's true. That's true. Wait, what
That's
were we
so
talking
true.
about? What were we talking about? Oh yeah. Okay, you're like how not to be a car salesman. Like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
essentially tell like really yeah, so going into confidence and also understanding how to
hmm
express to them what you offer that they do want, right?
So what I'm learning is that the process of this seems to be the answer for everything is mindset, pricing, and sales. And
Mm-hmm.
everybody thinks that it's always marketing. But
Mm.
I mean, and it can be like, I mean, you need to market to get inquiries, of course. But if your mindset is not on board and your pricing is terrible and it's not profitable and you can't book a call, you have no business.
Yeah.
You have an expensive hobby and you have all these inquiries, but nobody's booking because they don't
Mhm.
trust you, because you don't trust yourself. It's like the puzzle's not adding up. When my son
Yeah.
goes, that this is not the right piece. Not
Yeah.
the right piece. And so that's why you have to do so much work to be in business, so much work to get to a certain place where you can charge 5, 7, 10K for weddings. But it
Mhm.
works out. It really does. And I think the thing about sales too is that we feel like, and I don't know if there's any men listening, but I like as women, I like more of a feminine approach to sales. Like I said, with more
Mhm.
serving, it's not cold pitching. It's not
Yeah.
I'll give you this free thing and it was already included in the package, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like
Yeah.
we're not salesy, we're just giving them what they want.
Yeah.
We're answering their questions and we're
Mhm.
doing it in a way that feels aligned to us and our values and their values. We're attracting the right people anyway. It's already aligned. They just need that final call, that final face to face to be like, okay, we're the best fit. We're going to have such a great time. And it is a trust thing. Like there's so many things. I don't even know where to start because sales is such a huge topic and it's so layered. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can
Yeah.
summarize it by saying that, other than saying that you're just helping them, just
Yeah.
giving them the best experience possible.
And something cool that I love to tune into is just remember that attention goes where intention flows. So if you, right, even before a call, if you just like tune yourself to what is my intention of this call? And if you're
Mm,
like, I want money, I need money, it's like you're going to be so focused on that, you're going to miss the whole point. You're going to miss really listening to them and tuning into their needs. If you just tune yourself to, I'm just going to be the most helpful person I can be on this call and like genuinely just answer their questions and suggest to them what they want the most from this experience from
hmm
whichever packages I have. If you're like genuinely, I'm here to just help them make a decision, and you have zero expectations, you create that neutrality, that is where you start gaining so many more bookings so much more effortlessly because you're unattached. They don't feel that desperate energy, and the whole point is you're there to help them, right? So
Hmm.
that helps me a lot. Something I actually wanted to quickly ask you before we go into just continuing this conversation is,
Sure.
um, I remember you mentioned you're like, I just didn't want to deal with raising my prices just $200 at a time over time. And I actually am curious. So, from your experience with like helping all these photographers, get to
Hmm.
100K in under 20 weddings, do you see success with people just being like, okay, I'm gonna go from 3,500 to 7,000. I'm just gonna double my pricing
Hmm.
and I'm just gonna start booking calls and doing them this way, and they start getting
Yeah.
bookings like right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
1000%. I had
Amazing.
somebody join in February and she was like, "Can you report my pricing in your DMs?" And I'm like, "Bet." So I'm in the voice message like, "This is how I would present what I would do." And she was like, "Oh, I'm joining. Like I have to get the whole sauce." And so I hopped on a call with her and then we mapped out everything and I said, "What do you want to do? What do you not want to do? What was like your regrets of last year in terms of like I'm so strategic. It's insane. Intentionality and strategy just I feel like if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail." So after that, she doubled her prices to 5K starting and she's going to raise them again and she's leaving her full-time job in
That's
July.
amazing. So
So,
wait, what was the time frame from that? From when you first connected to when
oh
she's
yeah.
decided to leave her full-time job? What was the time frame?
So she joined in February. She's leaving her full-time job in July, and she raised her
Wow.
prices, I think, a week or two after the call. So,
That's incredible, you guys. I just got chills. Alora, you're a
Sarah.
badass bitch for getting people results like this. I love this so much. This makes me so happy. Like seriously, everyone needs to work less, make more. Like,
Hmm.
and not even more. Like, you don't
Hmm.
even need to make more. Something I love so much is the idea of work less, make enough too. Like
Mm.
enough.
Yeah.
Everyone has a different enough. Your enough could be 100K. Your enough could be 200K, 300K, like whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
And oh my God, I love how you help people. And especially
Yeah.
like parents, right? Because oh my gosh,
Hmm.
having a kid, it really just takes up so much more time and energy than I ever even expected. But it's
Hmm.
if you have the capacity, if you have the right plan in place to work less and make more, then you can spend that time with them without the stress, without the guilt of you're not working. Like that's the most magical thing. And
Yeah.
with being able to do that, I love being a parent. But if I
Hmm.
wasn't able to do that, no wonder there's so many parents that are stressed or
Hmm.
short with their kids and spouses and not short with themselves. Like there's just so much that ties into it. So your work has such a huge ripple effect. So I love what you do.
Stop,
And
Sarah.
never. Okay, but
Yeah.
let's get into actually because you're like this is a big conversation like sales, how to be good at it.
Yeah.
Let's maybe just focus on like just something so people could take away that's like more practical. They can already start practicing.
Mm.
Like, what are some good ways of answering objections? Like if a couple, they're on a call with a couple and they're just like yeah, but this is over our budget. Or like, what are some of the most common objections, maybe? Maybe you could dive into those. And then what are some tips to overcome them?
Yeah. Well, I personally tell my students to lead the conversation for one. Don't let the couple start with asking questions. You lead with everything that you provide, your approach, your values, all of it. And then you'll dive into like the FAQs, common questions that you get, tailored probably to like your ideal couple, ideal aligned client, whatever. And then after that, they will come up with questions.
Mhm,
And I personally like to discuss prices on the call
mhm,
because that way they can get all of their questions answered and you can kind of create something that works for them versus being like, you have to fit in this specific package.
mhm,
But ideally, it depends on the kinds of different couple types that you attract. Like, you could be attracting analytical people,
mhm,
you could be attracting emotional people, you could be attracting people that have concerns about structure. How are you on the wedding day? So, it honestly, you have to be able to respond with your expertise and why you're the best solution for them. Basically, that
Oh my
is.
gosh, I love that perspective. I'd actually never thought of it that way. that
Mhm.
we're attracting like different types of couples, and
Oh
they should
yeah.
do a personality test when inquiring with us so we're prepared.
Love that. Love that. You have the cheat code ready. Just like, okay, this is what your
Yeah,
biggest fear is.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. What's your human design? What's your Enneagram? I need to know everything about you. So no.
everything. You're like, I'm serious, but like, I'm not serious.
Yeah.
I mean, it is helpful to know. And I think too, like body language really can tell, like if how they're like sitting. Like even you were talking about posture, I was like,
Yeah.
you can tell how relaxed people are. It's
Yeah.
like not me slouching the whole call. I was like, I'm literally so comfortable. Like
Yeah. You're
I'm
just,
slouching and
yeah.
Sarah's like perfectly postured. But
No, I am not. I'm leaning on my table. I'm
oh my
just
gosh, that makes
elbows.
sense. I
Yeah.
literally like,
It's comfortable.
I feel like a frog the way that I'm like sitting.
A frog?
Yeah, like
That's so random. I feel like a
the
frog.
audience is probably like, get on with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you said before, selling is serving.
Hmm.
Instead of trying to overly pitch them and approaching them from this lack of confidence, feeling like you're providing way too much information and they're just kind of like, whoa,
Hmm.
there's so many things, but like it always comes from mindset. And I liked how before you said how you kind of prep yourself for a call. For me, like I was coming at it from the point of like a basketball athlete. Like I'd be like, all right, I got this. I got this. I'm incredible. I'm amazing. I've
I
been doing
love
this for a
that.
decade, you know? Like,
I love
blasting
that.
music, just like, but whatever it takes. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm the best. I'm the best in the industry. All right, hello, my name is, but whatever it takes, you
Yeah.
are your biggest advocate. You are the one who's driving the ship. Make sure you're doing it in a way that's from a positive place, a healthy place. Work on your confidence. Like kick imposter syndrome to the curb. Do the work. And the work is just writing it out and figuring out what the problem really is. I want you to like assess the problems. Is it really marketing? Is it really sales? Is it branding? Are you attracting couples that are like not ideal? Like
Hmm.
something's wrong with your messaging. Something's wrong with maybe your brand. Maybe you need a rebrand.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time. But figuring out what the real problem is and then kind of making a plan, executing it, which is, I mean, I think our program is essentially just all a business program. I can't just say, oh, we'll help you with one thing because it's the whole thing, but
Hmm.
it's rooted in mindset, obviously. Like, how
Hmm.
could I? How could I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mindset, mindset journaling, and then everything else kind of comes and it flows. And you can keep working on those things over time and elevating. I mean, I've had students double their prices in like 30 days. I've had them double the prices in 9 days, whatever. I just
Yeah.
think as long as you're making steps towards
Yeah.
progress, it doesn't really matter, really. What is
Hmm.
your goal? How do you want to get there? How can we help you? You
Yeah.
know? And the same thing in the same way of being like, okay, well, how can I help my clients feel confident in hiring me as the only option, the only wedding photographer in the industry that can help get them X result?
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Yeah. And so if so actually hearing you say that is like, you know, I want to show them that I'm the only one, the best one for them that they can
Mhm.
hire.
Sure.
It kind of actually feels a little overwhelming and kind of like, well, then of course I'm going to feel imposter syndrome, right?
Mm,
So what is something that someone could lean into before a call where imposter syndrome can melt away? Like, what is something that they can believe? Is there any prompts that, you can say to them, okay, say this or write this out as like facts? Like maybe like you said earlier with the student that you were on a call with, where they're like,
mm,
um, where you're like, oh, well, how long have you been doing this? Right? How many weddings have you photographed? Like, what do you do in this situation? She knew all the answers and she was like, oh shit, yeah, I do stuff, right?
oops.
So
Yeah.
maybe so maybe it's about having like something where it's just like facts like yeah, I've been doing this for years. I know what to do in these situations. Like how can they hype them? What's like one idea of melting
Hmm.
away imposter syndrome right before a call?
Yeah. So I'm actually going into my student workbook right now because that's a
Yeah,
whole module. I'm like, okay, let me grab a
I love
question
that.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Da. Okay. Number one is your value does not equal your worth. I I am like the advocate of don't charge your worth. Like, please don't say that. You are worth
Hmm.
invaluable amounts of
Yes.
monies, wealth, what have you. We're not, that's like detaching the artist from the CEO. Like, this is a business and
Yeah.
I am a person. I am worth infinity money. Okay. So get that part right. The
Yeah.
next part is having this mindset of, I hope they can afford me.
Hmm.
Okay. And so then a successful CEO mindset is kind of like there is someone who values my work at any price I charge. So
Yeah.
you have to do that work intuitively all the time about anything that you're thinking. So if you have any thoughts in your head, just write them down, put a line on a sheet of paper, and then write down something else that you can think that actually reframes that, something more positive. Negative and positive mindset work constantly, consistently, all the time. That's the best advice I have for you.
Amazing. Yes, 100%. And oh my gosh, I'm reading a book right now called E Squared, and it's a very much like scientific approach with experiments in the book to prove to you
Mm,
that your thoughts create your reality. And
yeah.
like, I literally was like, okay, experiment. I'm going to manifest something in 24 hours. Okay. I'm like, I want to get $100 cash. And then the next like wedding I shot the next day, they gave me $100 tip. I was like,
Yep.
fuck off. Oh my
I
God.
love it.
So specific and like I got that. What? So like, yeah, you guys, your thoughts definitely create your reality. That's a whole nother
That's
wormhole
so good.
conversation though. Yeah.
There's another book I recommend. It's called Don't Believe Everything That You Think.
Mm.
And that's another really good book that I've been reading. And then, of course, was it Steal Like an Artist? I feel like that one was really fun. Just kind of realizing, huh, you're actually like not that original. Kind of like get over yourself.
Yeah.
Everything has been done. If you're feeling a little dramatic, maybe you should buy that book. So
I
those are
like
fun too.
that. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
just adding our own little iteration and our own like spirit to what we do. Yeah.
really. Yeah.
I
Hmm.
love that. Is there anything else that's coming up for you that you feel like photographers need to hear right now from essentially everything that you help them with? Is there something that's coming up right now that they need to
Yeah.
hear?
Mm. Oh, okay. Well, we talked about so many things, Sarah. Okay, if I could pick one, I would say that, it is really possible to build your dream life as an entrepreneur. I think half the time we feel like we have to be susceptible to all these rules and all of these educational pieces we're coming across. There are a million ways to build a business. Like, there's
Mhm.
no one size fits all in anything. We're just giving you the tools that we think has worked, that has worked for us and that could work for you. But there's a bunch of different ways. But also, while you're making so much money, you can never get back time. And I always refer back to that because especially as, you're with your spouse, you're getting married, you have kids, like your time is so valuable. Like every second
Mhm.
that goes by, you're never getting that back. Okay? So, what are the ways that you can get more time back without having to sacrifice everything? I remember, around the time that I was going to burn down my business, I didn't know it was possible to have this work, life, motherhood, and make it all work together. I thought I had to pick one or two. I didn't know I could have all three. And I still have all three. And it's just a matter of like owning it and just being like, I'm in charge of my life. What is something that I can do today that I'll be thankful for 3 to 5 years from now? And if that's a strategy, if that's raising your prices, if it's attracting, your aligned dream couples and not just saying yes to everybody that will pay you,
Mhm.
do it. You're gonna like just 12 months later, you just have no idea what that's gonna look like. Just take the first step. You'll surprise yourself and do it scrappy.
So well said. And do it scrappy. Yeah, so well said. And okay, so with that, and I feel like I needed to hear that even, just like
There.
some tidbits that you like said, I'm like, yeah, yeah. I felt so motivated. But no, but it's so true. Like our time is fleeting. We don't get it back. So me and you have been always so aligned with how we help people there.
Mhm.
And that's one another thing that you mentioned. You're like, there's so many different ways that you
Yeah.
can find success. And so I would encourage those of you listening, like if ask yourself this, if my success was inevitable, which path do I want to experience? Because
Mm.
that's facts. Like we literally just heard Alora say a student doubled her pricing and started booking it and she's quitting her job. Like if that's what you want to do, if your dream is like I want to like start charging this and I want to
Mhm.
work less, like that is a reality that is possible for you. It just takes different steps. Then, if you wanted to book 60 weddings and charge 2000 a wedding, that reality is also possible for you. It just takes different action steps. So, you guys, which path do you choose? Alora's like, nah, don't pick
Don't
that
do it. Don't do
path.
it.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay. So with all that said, Laura, can you just like let us know a bit more about your program and just let us know all the good stuff that you go over, how you help people, because I think what you offer is so invaluable and I just want everyone to know more because this could literally be like the thing that they've been praying for, the solution they've been praying for, and I want them to know more about it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So my program is called Wedding Atelier, and we help female wedding photographers, yeah, raise their prices, book 10K weddings, make 100K with less than 20 weddings a year. That is the goal. If you are booking more than 20, 25, 35 weddings a year, this program is for you. And spoiler alert, you're going to get all the time in the world. You're going to actually go on vacation. You're actually going to have money. You're going to profit as a business. So many things. Yeah, so we dive into mindset at the forefront because it's always mindset. And then we're pretty much going to help you with your messaging, your brand, and make sure everything is closely aligned. Because when we do get started scrappy, we kind of just get a website up there, get a logo up there. Sometimes it's from Canva. No judgment. I made mine in Word document. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
But it's time to elevate when you get to a point where you're like, oh, wait, I don't but 6, 7, 10K weddings. Me personally, I don't like to look like a hot mess. I will operate like a hot mess express to get where I gotta go, but I'm not gonna look like a hot mess. Like I've been there, done that. I've shot the weddings. I have the credibility. So your brand needs to showcase that. And
Mhm.
then after that, we're gonna go through all of your marketing, clean it up, and then teach you how to sell confidently, unabashedly. I want you to be like, this is what I charge. Do you want it or not?
Yes.
So,
I love
yes.
that. Yes.
Me. So yeah, that's it. We help you do all of that. And if you're really fast, you could do it in 30 days. You could do it in 90 days, but you get 12 months of support. You can submit anything to me and I'll rip it up. Just like I was ripping you guys up on this episode. I will rip up your pricing, your website, anything.
Alora
Um,
has no filter and I love it. I love
I
it.
don't care. I
Yeah.
literally don't care. But that's not why you hired me. You did not hire me to be your
Yeah.
friend. You have
No.
friends, okay? You
Yeah.
need someone who's going to be like, do this.
Yeah.
Eldest daughter energy on both sides. You are welcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have any questions, you can always DM me. I have a free training that you guys can check out about everything that's included in the program, how we help you, and you could submit an application and I'll DM you and be like, hey, what's going on? What do you need? How can we help you? That's pretty much it. So yeah.
I love it. I love how you explain that. And there's so much value in there. And yeah, you guys, the links are in the show notes for both the free training and to book a call with Alora, essentially apply to see if it's the right fit for you, which is really cool because if you just need more clarity, need to ask her questions directly of like where you are specifically. She can give you clarity. And then if it's the right fit, amazing. This is what you've been looking for. And if it's not, it's not. And that's totally cool. So links are in
Yeah.
the show notes, you guys. And also, you have some pretty cool stats of like combined bookings from students that I want you to fucking say loud and proud and like share of like the impact that you've been able to create. So do you have those like stats top of mind of like,
Yeah, it's on
yeah.
my page. Hold on.
Yeah,
So we've had, okay, my students have collectively made $2.7 million as of today. I actually have to check because they submit every time you book a wedding, you
yeah,
submit the win, of the
yeah.
amount that was booked, and it will tell you as an automated email response how much you've submitted total, and then how much you guys are making
That's so
collectively. So yes,
sick. That is
we're gonna hit
amazing.
3 million this year for sure. We hit like a million every year. So
Oh my gosh. Bravo. Bravo.
yay, and all my hard work. But it
Yes.
works. It works. This isn't like
Oh
a
my
crazy
God.
sales pitch and stuff. It's just business. And when you
Yeah,
figure out how to be the CEO of your life and business, you're unstoppable. You can do whatever you want. And I support it.
I love it. And where can people connect with you on the IGs and anywhere
Yeah.
else? Oh, and tell them about your podcast too.
Oh yeah, my podcast is also called Wedding Atelier. A lot of people don't know how to say it or spell it. They're
Yeah.
like, is it at Alir? Just search.
Add a leer.
I'm like, no, it's French.
Yeah.
Anyways, you can just search Alora Rachelle and see what comes up. But that's my Instagram, Alora.Rachelle, and Wedding Atelier, not at Lear. And I will see you guys there.
Thank you, Alora. Thank you. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.